Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. The art of chainsaw carving is a fast-growing form of art that combines the modern technology of the chainsaw with the ancient art of wood carving. In this modern landscape, is it possible to create a living by chainsaw carving? Well, in this video, we're going to ask that question. Well, I'm not going to ask it, but someone did, and I'm about to answer it. So, how much do chainsaw carvers make? Let's get into it. My name is Jeff Mohr. I am the Northwoods Carver, and thanks for seeing what I saw. Well, if we're going to begin, we might as well begin in the beginning. I'm going to kick this thing right through the uprights. Just give me a chance here. So, this video, I decided to make this video because I was kind of inspired by this question that was asked, like I said earlier, on Facebook. Question was asked by a non-carver, and I decided to, ponder on it for a while until, I was making this bear here, and this bear is like a bare bones bear. It's a very basic. It's an abbreviated form of something that I would always, create, to make myself happy, make the customer happy, but in a much more simplistic way. Hey everyone, welcome back to the dojo. I do want to have a little chat with all you carvers out there, and all you non-carvers. Listen up. I'm making this video because I saw something on Facebook. I'm sure a lot of carvers that are out there viewing this have, checked out the Facebook scene and are part of Chainsaw Carvers, or any of these pages that have like thousands of Chainsaw Carvers on them. Here's what I want to discuss. There was a guy, I don't know, check this out. Maybe you guys remember this. There was a dude on there that posted a question. I don't believe he's a carver. He asked this question of how much do chainsaw carvers make in a year? And eventually I chimed in, but what do I know? I'm not the end all be all. There's a lot of people out there and they all come from different walks of life. And so that question kind of left me curious as to, how do you get there? How did you start off? Did you start off inheriting this thing? Did you start off ground up, ground zero at the, as far as carving is concerned? Is it playing around in your backyard because you had a neighbor that did it once? It depends on the situation, depends on the amount of, it depends on the dog in the fight and the fight in the dog, right? It's the fight in the dog. So and even then, you get the most talented, smart, hardworking carver, and he just doesn't get the breaks. Maybe he doesn't live in a great area. So how is that gonna, if you take somebody that lives in the bush in Canada or in Alaska and you put him in some tourist place, it's gonna change his perspective on how much he can, on how much he or she can make in a freaking, in a year. So like, these are things that, I guess I'm preaching to the choir, but maybe other people out there that want to hear this or are interested in finding out what possibilities are. 6 figures, man. If you're working with, if you're one of these big fair carving outfits, there's 3 or 4 of them that I can think of. Or if you are, and you're a professional and you travel, and you may be traveling with 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, whoever many guys, you go set up for a huge fair that lasts for however long. In that fair, you're gonna make a lot of money, right? The guys are gonna make a lot of money. The guy who puts it together is gonna make a lot of money, and then they move to the next one and they just keep doing that. And then they also have a shop back home. And then they might even have other businesses that are linked somehow. And so they're gonna make way more than some guy on the side of the road, right? He doesn't have the, he came from a different story, different background. Even amongst the best in the world, I don't think any of them are going to be making the same amount of money. You know, it's not like once you hit a level, everybody makes a certain amount of money. No, there's different opportunities for everybody. And you could be, like, I've seen some carvers that are just, I've never seen anything like it in my life, and they don't get paid squat. The money here in the United States is much better than probably anywhere else for carvings, because it's, you know, and I think a lot of the carvers from other, you know, continents and from across the water, across the big pond, they come over here to experience what it's like to carve with American carvers and get their hands on some good money, you know, and they do it right, you know. They travel, somehow they figured it out. I have not, but that's neither here nor there. But they can, you know, they're on vacation and they're making money on vacation, pretty much. You know, just last summer I had John Hayes and Chris Wood here after the U.S. Open. You know, they came here to relax, but they also came here to create, you know, and work hard in the heat. And it saved my butt, you know, and I'm so glad to have them. But their attitude while they were here was very unique. Not like, you know, that's not the American attitude that I experienced. It was better, I think, in a lot of ways. But we enjoyed each other's company, and it was wonderful. But each one of those guys, they make really good bank, you know, in their own countries, Ireland and Wales, and they just come here to get away and you know, experience, you know, other carvers and other styles, and see some new scenery and explore. So that right there, the ability to do that and have that mindset it makes them wealthy. They don't have to make a lot of money to be wealthy. I mean, seriously. And they do, they make good money, real good money. Probably way more than I do. But where did you come from? What's your drive? What's your background? What's your, you know, how old are you when you start this thing? I know guys that are in their 60s starting off, and they are beat up from life, and now they're gonna grab a chainsaw and try to carve all day. I don't think most guys at that age are ready for it. And it beats the hell out of them. And they still hang in there. They do what they can. But it's just a matter of, okay, how much is that guy gonna make compared to somebody who's been carving for 25 years and has a degree in art and has a nice shop and, you know, has exposure on all the platforms, you know, carves for celebrity. I mean, they're gonna make a whole different kind of money, you know. It's like, I can't express it enough. What, you know, like, how much is a house? How much is a car? Well, what kind of car do you want? What kind of house do you want? How much is a Harley? Well, same diff. So what I'm trying to tell this guy is there is absolutely no way to answer that question unless you go to the very top of the food chain, somewhere in the middle and the lower end. So in that regard, I'm going to say this. I know lower end carvers, they might make a couple grand to like 15,000. My first year, I think I made 6 grand. The second year, what did I make the second year? I think I made 18,000. This was 35 years ago. And the next year, the third year, I made more. I made 4 or 5 times that. And it wasn't because I was good. I was horrible. But I knew how to move through that crowd, you know, because I was in a great area. And I just stayed busy. When I'd stop with one, I'd just go right to the next one. And that's the way it was. And of course, you know, as far as what I make currently, I make good enough money to stay afloat, you know. I don't want to work all the time. I don't want to work at all. But I want to, you know, so I have, like, I might get big pieces in, And then I'll just go and do a couple big ones. I'll do maybe 3 big pieces a year. And then it's just like whatever little stuff I want to do. Just fun stuff for me. And then of course I'll sell like these little $750 or $1,000 bears like that I'm carving right now. And I'll just put them up online and they're gone. Like they're sold immediately. And you do some of those and you do some little $250 bear busts, or for most people it's like mushrooms and cardinals and whatever else. It depends on how you want to go. I just say if you want to like figure out how much people make, you can always look them up, I guess. Is there like a website or something for that? Like everyone knows what Elon Musk is worth and what Jeff Bezos is worth, or can come up with a pretty good idea of how much they make, 200 million or whatever it is, 158 million or billion with a B, can't even say it. And then you got us schmucks down here in the mud slinging around and just trying to make her work and pay the bills. And so to me, I don't care what people make as far as being a carver. And I think the other carvers don't care either. I don't think they give a crap what other carvers make. But they do probably want to lean their ear in on if someone does say what they make, and then they're going to say, well, where's this guy at? What's his location? What is he doing that I'm not doing? So if that raises some interest, some intrigue, then that's a good thing, because then you can like learn from these guys a little bit and just say, okay, he's in this location, which isn't too far away, or might be all the way across the United States. What's he doing differently? How is that person that's carving and selling that much more, does this work that much better? Is he just making more? Does he just have a place where he can sell more stuff? Is there a place where he can just unload a bunch of carvings in a weekend? Or does he do a lot of shows? Is he traveling? Is he carving is he a carnival carver? Is he chasing fairs? Or, how is this happening? And then just take yourself to school and figure it out. So you're gonna have like between a couple thousand mid-grade. I would say your average mid-grade carver is gonna be making 25, 30,000 maybe. And once you get above that, then, I would say maybe up to 50K would be a pretty good estimate for a decent carver in the mid-range. And then once you start getting into that upper tier, you're looking at it from 60 to, 3 or 4 or 500,000, depending on what kind of outfitters they run and where they're located. And some guys are brokers, and I've had conversations with other carvers in the past that while you're learning, I wouldn't say anybody shouldn't carve, but if you're a salesman and you got sales ability, that'd probably be something that I would look into, is being a broker for carvings. Be the middleman, hook people up with carvers that are established while you're trying to learn. Because, man, you get a little percentage, you're still involved in the industry. I like to do it occasionally. I'll pass jobs on for a little bit of a slice and then let them eat the rest of the pie. I don't care. I didn't have to work. I got the job because of my reputation or whatever, and then I'll pass it on to a student. I do that all the time. My students benefit from me handing off jobs because I don't want to do them. It's an on-site job, or it's just little stuff that I don't want to deal with, and I'll send them right over to this guy or that guy or whatever. So that's pretty cool, and it helps them, and they can make more money in a year. So that being said, your age, your location, your ability or lack of, your physical ability. Were you a mechanic for 40 years before you started this? If so, you're gonna have problems. You can't grab a saw and just run a saw all day. It's not like cutting firewood for a couple hours. This is a lot different. What you come into it with, are you already established? Do you have land? Do you have, houses? And can you just go and buy an arsenal of saws and equipment before you even get started? Some people are in that position, most are not, because this stuff's expensive. So how much does a chainsaw carver make? Too many variables. I could sit here for the next 2 hours and just keep popping off variables on why carvers. Some carvers don't make as much as others. That's pretty much a self-answering question. Whoever you are out there, you could probably tell me 100 other reasons, but if you like this video, like and subscribe. I got some really cool stuff coming up. I just wanted to do this video because, I don't know, I just think this stuff needs to be talked about more. Hopefully it helps somebody. And if you're not a carver looking into it, you know, hey, the sky's the limit. It's just, you got to know your limitations. And then once you figure that out, then you just got to break them. Ding, ding, round 2. And so I am just putting in some of the basic features. Using the gouge for just the furring. This is not one of those, you know, like I said, it's not one of those ones where I'm going to spend a bunch of time on it. Got to keep that price down for the customers. And, you know, that wasn't my motto before. I did this for years, and then I just kind of got away from it and just focused on, you know, being the best version I could be for myself and for my family. And so I can make more money. And, you know, a lot of times it works out that way. But occasionally, you know, when life hits you in the face with a sledgehammer, you got to be like, well, okay, I'm gonna shift gears here. I just because I don't doesn't mean I can't, and it doesn't mean I shouldn't. It just means that, you know, there's a whole demographic out there that I'm missing by not keeping it simple and basic, because not everybody understands, you know, why they like something as opposed to something else. Something basic is sometimes more appealing to people, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, I don't know why people like simple. I mean, I don't. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like a lot of simple things, but when it comes to, you know, if it's done well, simple can be better than, you know, complicated for sure. What about guitar licks, you know? What about, you know, you go from a B.B. King to a Eddie Van Halen, and you got totally different approaches, and they're both, you know, I guess people would say that they're both brilliant. Just depends on what you're into. But for me, making this thing simple was, I don't know, I'm just going to continue doing these guys. I've been doing it now for, well, I've been carving a long time, but I just started making these like last year. I call these mortgage bears. The bare bones mortgage bears. You just, you know, you sell a couple of them in a month, or 2 or 3 of them, or whatever it is, and then just keep making them. And as long as you got them, you can sell them. You can't sell them if you don't make them. That's a fact. So my wife is doing a shim job, and I don't recall why. I don't think I saw too many. Well, that was crazy. I don't remember seeing too many cracks on it, so I just had her shim it, and then of course after you torch it, rookie mistake, after you torch it, anything that is a split will be, you know, amplified. So I didn't realize it at the time, but you can hear that thing popping and ticking as I'm going about my business here. And then when I brought it back in, I had to let Pam kind of cut loose with the shims again, and it required a lot more this time, but we got it done. You know, it's not something I want to do on something that is only that price. A bunch of shims takes hours sometimes, and you know, I just wanted to keep it simple. But I'm just hitting it with the Osborne brush, knocking off all that carbon from the you know, from the burn job, and getting it all blown off and ready to bring in to get painted. So yeah, as you can see, there's like those splits in the back, but we did not mess around with them. I mean, it's just a little too much crazy camera work. Anyway, bringing in the little bear, and you can see the bison back there, and there's Pam going to town with the shimming like there's no tomorrow. We've got pretty much all the paints and everything ready to go. As you can see in the foreground, we've got, you know, for detail stuff, and
we're just going to do a dry brush on this. So we're going to shoot it black with latex, because this is a pretty dry piece of wood, as you can see, with all the cracking. We're going to shoot it black. Once it's dry, we're going to do our dry brush technique, which you will see how I do that in the next, probably in the next little bit here. All right, getting close to finishing with the shim, moving the camera angles. See that little tripod back there? That's when you know I mean business. I'm just trimming everything off and getting ready for the paint. I guess you would call this part the fixing to get ready part. And when you're fixing to get ready, you got to take care of all that stuff that's driving you crazy right up to the last minute. And there it is. Blacked out, ready to go.
Oh! Guess what, everyone? It's time to paint. So for this application, this is not, you know, you're probably saying, I've seen you do better bears. It's like, well, yeah. This ain't like that. This ain't that kind of a party. I'm trying to like produce stuff that average people can just be like, hey man, that's cool. I like that. I can afford it. So I have to dumb down the style somewhat while still making it look like a bear's. I don't want to say dumb it down. Maybe I should say abbreviate. Good word. Abbreviate the norm. And then you come up with something like this. I didn't spend, you know, there's not really any furring with a saw. I just used my gouge to create this, and then we shot it with black latex exterior, and we had to go through a round of shimming, as you saw. And now I'm going to take this here caramel. No, I'm not going to spray it on there. Well, I might a little bit, but and then we need the flat black right there. So basically, this is like a warm caramel, and I'm just gonna brush this on, and it's gonna highlight a little bit. So I like to go a little dark, you know, a little where you can really see it. And then I'll go back over it with a flat black, mist it on a little bit. So you can see all the little chainsaw marks. My customer's going to be here tomorrow to pick him up. Let's get to that speedy footage.
You heard him, man. It's time for some speedy footage. This is, you know, I wish it was this fast, but it's not. Of course, I think I like this kind of paint style best because it is fast. It's fast and it can be pretty dang easy. You can just do maybe one or two colors. Right now I'm just trying to make it look decent so that everything kind of, you know, nothing really clashes. And of course I'm just getting a little hair dryer out there to dry the eyes so I can paint the eyes in. I usually like to have the eyes not so much looking straight forward. I like to have them kind of, there you go, looking off to the corner. Like, hey, you know, he's looking at something and you're not sure what it is. So it makes it a little more curious to look at. We're gonna take that base off and we're gonna mount it permanently now. In a second, I'm going to head up to get a little bite to eat. Pam's gonna do the glue removal because we had to wait until the glue dried and we scraped it up, and then she sealed it up good, and there you have it. A freshly painted bare bones bear by yours truly, Jeff Mohr.
I'm done. This is it. This is the bare bones bear. Bare bones meaning not complicated. Not Not too difficult, not a lot of time spent, you know, grueling over details. So I just basically made a form, kind of a shape, put the eyes in, put the nose on, ears, and then didn't spend a lot of time on it. And then you just gouge the fur in and, you know, burn it, brush it, paint it. We did have to do some shimming, quite a bit of shimming, because when we burnt it, the wood opened up. It's gonna happen. We were more concerned about it in this area, not so much in the back. So we just let the back go. And I wanted to utilize the entire log instead of having a bear that's only about 3.5 feet tall or 4 feet tall on a stump. I'll just carve the whole thing and add one. Well, it's not a stump, it's a, you can't even see it. It's not that it's not there, it's, I'm too lazy to move the camera. So anyway, trust me, it's there. There's a base and my wife just stained it. It's pretty cool. Thanks for watching this video up to this point and beyond. So this is Jeff Mohr right here. And I want to thank you personally for watching all my videos. I had a great month this year. We've got, I think I had almost, it was 5,000, 5.8 thousand views this in the last 28 days. For me, that's like crazy good. Pretty awesome. So, thanks for your help, everybody. If you could like, subscribe, smash the notification button.
Say what?
The
Did
button.
he just say butthole?
And
yeah, he pretty much just said butthole.
I'm never gonna live this down. And also, sharing is caring, everyone. I gotta stop doing this. All right, so I will see you. All right. And this is Jeff Mohr, the Northwoods Carver. Thanks for watching. I already said that. Dang it! Like and subscribe. Nope, said that. Sharing is caring, said that. Oh. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Dang it. So stupid.
He clearly said butthole. Thanks for watching. Hey, somebody turn on the lights.